Welcome to Bartender at Large. I'm your host, Erick Castro, and as usual, we're joined by some of the biggest names in the industry. With me today, Brea Wilske, owner of Bespoke, a bar catering service.
Hi.
Brea, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on. Okay, we've had a lot of people on the show. We've had distillers, we've had bartenders, brand ambassadors, pretty much everyone you can think of. You're actually the first bar caterer we've had on yet, and that's the reason why I'm so excited to have you on, because I love what you guys are doing. Like, I like the idea of craft cocktails being served in more areas and more venues in society today. But for a lot of people out there that don't know what a bar catering service is, would you mind shedding a little light on it and tell us what it means?
Yeah, so just basically offering the experience of being at somebody's bar in a venue or an event space where people are celebrating something that matters to them.
That's so awesome to me, because I love the fact that back in the day, 10 years ago, even 5-10 years ago, like the only place you were getting a proper cocktail was like at a very specialized like niche craft cocktail bar.
Yeah.
And over these last few years, it's like I was at a wedding recently over the summer where like the cocktails were fantastic, and it was actually done by the catering service. There was they had a little station, and they were like cranking out really good cocktails. Everybody's dancing, drinking Negronis and old fashions and stuff, French 75s, and I thought it was so cool because the number of places that we expect to have a bad drink has gotten so small now.
Yeah.
Like really, I think it's like down to like, I don't know, like sporting events. Yeah. And even some of those are starting to have like really good cocktails. It's like, where it's like, the number of places you could get a good drink was really small, and then now it's like it's grown so much that the number of places where you get a bad drink, it's like so obviously we're getting good cocktails at more venues, movie theaters, things like that. What kind of clients do you guys typically have when you're doing this bar catering services? Is it mostly weddings? Is it events, birthday parties?
Yeah, kind of a mix. I don't get as many weddings as I had thought I would, actually.
It seems like a good fit, right?
Yeah.
People dance more and have more fun when they're drinking. So.
Yeah, but I do get a lot of office parties, mostly office parties. Seattle is growing so much in terms of Amazon, and Facebook just built a new campus down in South Lake Union, which is a neighborhood in Seattle. There? I haven't made them for Facebook.
Come on,
but
Facebook, hit her up.
There's a lot of growing business there. So tons of people, and the culture in corporate America is changing too, where drinking casually in the office is like very much accepted.
Yeah.
And so I've been invited into a lot of offices just for a happy hour where I host a bar, and sometimes I do like a how-to on making cocktails.
Oh, that's cool. So it's almost like, because I'm thinking in my mind, I think the first thing I think of, the first thought that my mind conjures is like, okay, you're coming in, you're making cocktails, it's like a reception, or, you said like a corporate happy hour on a Friday afternoon, everybody's sitting around having cocktails. But what you're doing, can also be sometimes an example of like team building.
Yeah. Like
they're like, okay, everybody, we hit our sales goals, so next Friday we're all going to learn to make cocktails.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And what would you do in a situation like that? You bring ice, syrups, tins, everything?
I have a mobile bar that was designed by this really dope woman named Ashley Beard. Mm-hmm. She's a carpenter in Seattle, and I hit her up and told her I love what she does, and she built it custom because I'm a petite woman.
Yeah.
So I've never been able to reach over a bar top or like at the end of it. Mm-hmm. So she built it for my body type, and it's very ergonomic.
That's super cool.
And it's mobile on wheels. I can break it down and set it up in less than 15 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'll bring that, and then I bring all of the ice and tools that I need. But then I pre-batch ahead of time cocktails, and then I'll bring each component of the drinks that I've pre-batched, and we'll do like a little demo after about an hour. Usually I'll serve the drinks, people get excited about them, have enough time to have one. Then we'll do a demo. I'll show everybody how to do it. I'll call somebody up. They'll make it.
That's cool.
And it's more interactive. And then it's like...
It's a free-for-all.
It's just free-flowing after that.
That's really cool. That's really cool. And how do your clients find you? Do they find you... Is it word of mouth, or is it like through Instagram or social media? How do they get a hold of you?
It has only been word of mouth so far. I have been slowly building my marketing on Instagram and online, but it's primarily been word of mouth. Just I did one event and it was a success, and then that person told their friend who hired me, and
That is so cool.
it's been really neat.
I really dig that. That's really fascinating because you know, essentially, because what you become is you're like a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Where it's like if they didn't hire you, they would have to like get a bartender, pick up all the spirits, do all the juicing, get the ice, and it's like next you know they're working with 3 or 4 different purveyors, if not more.
Yeah.
You know, and they're actually managing it themselves. But with the cocktail caterer, it's like they just come to you, and you have everything that you need. And I'm sure it varies from city to city. If, you know, people out there are taking notes, but you know, licensing I'm sure is different from city to city, state to state. But just the whole concept and the idea behind it is awesome. You know, where did you start? At what stage were you first starting where you're like, you know, I think there might be a market for this? What was like the original? What was the impetus for it?
I went to one of my friend's weddings, and it was really beautiful. And she is a bartender. So I just assumed the bar would be really dope, but it was pretty terrible. It was like 30 people deep, and I waited about 30 minutes to get a gin and tonic. and
It's not like you have to batch a gin and tonic.
Yeah.
They're not that hard.
It was pretty treacherous, and I was fine, but I survived without my gin and tonic.
I know.
But it was just like, I just thought to myself,
Luckily, Brea always carries a flask, everybody.
It's true. I have a problem.
Just kidding. A little 151, right? You're like, I'm fine.
Let's get crazy. But yeah, so I thought to myself, I could do this. I could do this a little bit differently. So then I started thinking about it, and then a couple months later, my other friend was getting married, and they wanted to do a camp out wedding in Oregon. Cool. And so
that sounds like a very Oregon thing to do.
Yeah, totally. We actually went to Evergreen together, so I was not surprised at all when she was like, I want to get married on a campground over a weekend. Let's do it. So it was really cool. So I told her what I wanted to do, and I said, you know, it would be really cool if I could just give this to you as a gift.
Oh, sick.
But also it gave me an opportunity to see if this was something I was excited to do. Right. So I did it. I pre-batched 3 cocktails, 2 for the first day and 1 for the second day, which was just like after the wedding, everybody's relaxed. And people loved it. I didn't run out of anything, and they were so excited. And they encouraged me to start writing, just write down your first sentence of your business plan and see what happens after that. So I was really inspired, and I just started going from there.
Yeah, that's actually really crazy. That's cool. But what you did was you saw like a hole in the market, wondered why nobody's doing this yet, got into it. We're like, maybe there's a reason. Got into it. You're like, no, like this is totally viable.
Yeah.
And what were some of the hurdles initially? Because I'm thinking, like say for instance, when you're writing a menu, like you know, you haven't met each individual person, you don't know all their tastes, so you kind of almost have to design a menu that's like designed to please, to make everyone happy. So what are some of your approaches with that?
So I learned very quickly. First of all, I started out without really having a flat rate because I didn't know how to conceptually charge people for something that was going to vary so much. And then I nipped that in the butt right away and found a per person rate, and that helped a lot. And then the second most difficult challenge was exactly that people were really interested in having cocktails that they already knew. Like,
if it was me, I could just see myself doing an event where it's just 3 brown bitter stirred drinks.
Right.
And it's like everybody's like, what? I'm like, these are the 3 drinks I like, so if you don't want them, too bad.
I got a lot of people who really want a margarita or really want some sort of vodka cocktail. Those are the most called for, right? Because those are like very popular. Very popular. And you don't have the privilege of having a bar where you have a menu and you say, this is what I'm doing, because what I'm doing is custom. Every cocktail is custom. So I had to find a way to create a dialogue that was approachable and find and build crowd-pleasing recipes that I could present to people based on their spirit. So I have spirit of choice and things like that. So if somebody really likes tequila,
that's a good call.
Or margaritas, and that's what they say, then I'll send them a list of 3 different cocktails that they can select for their palate.
Here's an El Diablo.
Yeah.
Here's Tommy's Margarita. Pick one of these. Blah blah blah.
But I want to make it personal, so I also ask questions about how, if it is a wedding, how did you and your partner meet?
Whoa, so it is bespoke. You actually live up to your name.
Truly bespoke, yeah. But still approachable. So, it's just kind of a really fun way to engage with people and get them excited about cocktails without overwhelming or intimidating them.
Yeah. Well, that is nice. I mean, it's like, I remember when me and my wife got married, it's like, getting married is such a stressful thing, and there's so many things coming at you from so many different directions, and it's nice to just be able to pass that off to somebody. Like, here, you take care of the cocktails, would you? And then no one else did. From there on, it's just like a big load off of their mind.
That was the third hurdle, because I really am a people pleaser. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to really make sure that I was giving everybody exactly what they needed and wanted, but what I learned over time and after, like, every event, what they want. Yeah, I just have to say, don't worry, I've got this, so that they can just have their mind be at ease and they can trust that I'm handling it for them, and it's going to be awesome when it happens.
And okay, so how long have you been doing this? Maybe
since October of 2016.
Okay, so about a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. That's really cool. And so far, what have some of the things that you've learned from? What are some of, like, the mistakes you've made and some of the things that you've like fixed?
Yeah.
If you can talk about them. I don't want to. Yeah. You don't have to be like, oh, this one client was an asshole.
No.
Don't say that.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, people respond really positively. Everyone's been.
Well, you put a couple of drinks in their hand and
then they love you.
Yeah, you're 15 minutes late, set up, and the next thing you have 2 drinks. It's fine.
Organizing my time, being organized is key. I did not. The first few times I was pretty underprepared, just because I assumed that it would only take an hour for me to set up. Yeah.
Like Band-Aids or having scissors or just something random that you wouldn't think you need.
Water station. Even if people don't want NA beverages, I always bring like 3 cases of LaCroix or 3 cases of some sort of non-alcoholic flavored soda. And they always appreciate that. Understanding how much ice you need to bring is things like that.
I know. Right, and I'm sure you have just graphs and graphs on Excel where it's like, there are 100 people, I need this many pounds of ice.
I assume a pound of ice per 1 pound per person, and then if it's the summertime, I double that.
Yeah, you're right.
Because ice melts, and you never know if a venue's going to be hot. So having a list, I created an event plan, and that helped me get more organized. But the one real epic fail was last year. I did a 600-person party.
Oh, shit.
That's all I have to say, right?
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. And I just didn't have any idea what I was walking into exactly. I made 2 cocktails. I kept it simple. I just did an old fashioned and a Moscow Mule.
Yeah.
And I hired 6 bartenders who are awesome, really good bartenders in the city. And they crushed it because they're so strong. So I was really lucky to have them. But a day wasn't even enough time to prepare for that.
Shit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of juice you would need for 600 people.
Yeah.
And was it, especially if it's an event where it's like, if it's like a corporate happy hour or something or a meet and greet, it's like people are on their best behavior, they're having a drink or 2. But if it's like a wedding or something, 600 people can get wasted.
It was nuts. It was a young professionals event, so everyone was under 30. Everyone
free drinks?
Yeah. It was crazy.
Oh man, that's nuts. But hopefully it's one of those situations where you were getting your ass kicked, but the guests never knew.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I learned everything that night. Mm-hmm. So after that, I got hyper organized, more than I probably need to, and preparing things ahead of time changed a lot about my business plan and the way I structure events, and it was actually a blessing.
Mm-hmm. No, that's great. See, no, and that's a good lesson for people to take, because I feel like sometimes when it's really easy for, people coming up to look at, those who are successful and think like, oh, they have it made so easy. They never make any mistakes. They're just perfect and they know what they're doing. It's like, no, the reason why they know what they're doing is because they've made a lot of mistakes.
Absolutely.
And you learn from that, you separate the good from the bad by who's really learning from their mistakes.
Yeah. it's very humbling to mess up.
Yeah.
But it's the best thing.
Yeah, because then you went home probably that night just like, damn, you like started writing things down.
Yeah.
Like, these are notes from now on, I need to carry this.
Yeah.
You know, even little things like, I don't know, hand sanitizer. Like, is there going to be anywhere we can wash our hands? Like, things like hand sanitizer, an extra cutting board. I'm sure there's things that people don't really necessarily think of.
Yeah. Just having staff there ahead of time, being okay, I hired 6 awesome bartenders. I'm just going to bring them in 3 hours early to prep and have stations set up for each person so that when they walk in, they've got tasks and it's simple for them instead of feeling like one huge thing that I've learned in having this job is, and having this business is trusting other people to delegate tasks to because they're capable. So I don't have to do everything by myself.
Yeah, that's something I need to learn.
Yeah, it's
I
really
have
hard.
that written down somewhere in my daily notes where it's like, you don't have to control everything.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You should write it down as a haiku so it becomes your mantra.
But it's like, yeah, what's the point? What's the point of hiring the best people that you can if you're not giving them responsibility and delegating responsibility to them?
Yeah, and that also showcases your ability to be a leader. To just say, I trust myself, so you should trust me too. Because here are the things that need to be done, and I believe that you are capable. That's leadership. So people want to work with you more if they feel like you know how to run the ship, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I'm super excited talking about this because all this seems so cool. So I'm thinking, that brings up a good thought, a good question for you next. And that is, how does it differ making drinks like through the catering company versus making drinks when you're in a bar?
Yeah, it differs in a lot of ways. I don't know that everybody does this, but for what I do, I pre-batch all of the cocktails ahead of time. So I had to really learn a lot about the art of pre-batching, understanding dilution, understanding that gramming ingredients out is really key.
Not Instagram, just gramming.
Instagramming. Yeah, and I feel when you walk into a bar as a consumer, right, that has 500 whiskeys on the back bar from all over the world, people are walking in to something and you're showing them what that is right off the bat. So they're anticipating you being an expert and being behind a mobile bar at a wedding where people are used to the bartender maybe not knowing the difference between 2 different kinds of red wine, which is real. That's real.
Yeah. They might not even know that the red wine is the one that is red.
Yeah, so true. So they don't expect you to be an expert. So guests being really surprised by your expertise and the quality of the drinks
cool.
It's kind of exciting. But that's a big difference, is that people have this sense of like ingenue,
But also, I mean, you're over delivering, which is cool because they're showing up to the wedding like, I'm lucky if this person knows how to make a gin and tonic.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, at least in a decent amount of time. And then when they roll up, all of a sudden there's like a 3-drink menu.
Yeah.
And they have options. And how do people ever respond negatively? Like, wait, I can only choose these 2 drinks? Or is it rather the opposite? Like, wow, these drinks are so good, I'm happy to have them.
It's like a really easy battle. So people, can you take that tequila and just give me tequila and soda? And then I say, I can't, but what I can do is give you this delicious cocktail, and if you don't drink it, I will. And then they always laugh, like I have some silly punchline.
Isn't it funny how bartenders we use the same jokes over and over?
We all do. We all have the same. None of us are clever guys.
I have some routines I've been using for like 15 years, and they're just like, you still get a laugh.
Yeah. It's so good. Just make like a silly joke and then they relax because it's all of it. Always, no matter what, it's just drinks.
Oh, so you only do those 2 drinks or like 3 drinks or the set drinks? If somebody wants like a bourbon and soda or something, that's not an option?
Unless the guest who hires me wants that.
That makes perfect sense.
It just keeps it simple.
Keeps it moving.
And usually people don't care.
And you have like, you're just cranking them out. Just like, you make as many of the old fashions you can, I'll make as many Moscow mules, and we're just selling them.
Yeah. I mean, and when I did this holiday party, and I made a cocktail with fresh pressed cranberry juice and just this crazy gin thing.
Yeah,
this crazy gin. It was like a rosemary syrup, and it was just.
Rosemary's and cranberry. That sounds really good.
It was really festive.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty standard drink in a cocktail bar, but at a Christmas party, people were really excited about it. But it intimidated a lot of people, so I did experience that at like this one event. But
where you went a little too #mixology on them.
Not even. I think so. It was the first lady came up and ordered, a gin and tonic, and then we had that conversation, and then I ended up garnishing it, and I had like a rosemary sprig with cranberries on it, and that was it for her. She was like, that is what I want, even though she walked into it not wanting anything but the gin and tonic. So the point is that people just get excited about something new, and they forget that they have a go-to at all.
Yeah, there's like a novelty factor involved where it's like, it's not, you can create a little delight there because they're not expecting to have those options.
Yeah.
Especially in a city like Seattle where they're very cocktail savvy and have had a rich cocktail culture for so long.
Yeah.
Like, they're not used to, they know good cocktails, so when they see them when they don't expect them, they're super happy.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine. Yeah, that is so cool. So anyway, I'm gonna shift the topic a second.
Okay.
I noticed you have a little goodie basket over here for us. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up.
Okay.
So what have we got in this thing?
So I really like Theo's Chocolate. I work with them a lot, and they work with Scrappy's on a chocolate bitters. Ooh. So I brought you some Theo's Chocolate from Seattle.
Oh yeah, and I love Scrappy's bitters.
It's delicious.
Yeah, good stuff. And then this is actually I've had some of their product before. If I've had the chocolate Scrappy's bitters.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Oh, you haven't had Theo's Chocolate?
I've never had Theo's Chocolate
before.
You're
in for a treat.
Ooh,
it's delicious.
Chocolate, salted toffee as well.
Yeah.
Very, very tasty.
And then I've just brought you some of my paperwork, like my little brochure
this is cool.
and business card.
This is pretty sick. So it's like, this is essentially like, this is the brochures for what you provide. So it's like, it breaks it down to like the services that you do. So it's like, I'm looking at, you have standard services, up to 100 people, custom editions, champagne tower, very classy, glassware rental. Ooh, okay, glassware rental, right? So people ask you for glassware rental, I'm sure typically it's like double old fashions, Collins glasses, coupes, things like that. Have you ever had people come in and be like, oh, we want like crazy tiki mugs and we want this crazy bespoke glassware?
I only do that. So I only do, I have a collection of glassware that I've just collected at Goodwills and Salvation Armies. So it's all mismatched glassware. And so that's a set you can purchase, or you can purchase a set of faceted old-fashioned glasses. I try to keep it a little elevated. I have like the tiki sharks, and
that's cool.
I do have glassware that's a little bit more bespoke.
That's so much more intense than I was expecting. But that's really cool. I mean, if people are paying top dollar, then they need to get their money's worth. And especially when you said that so much of what you do is dealt by word of mouth, it's like you got to wow people.
Yeah. And I think to walk into a place and expect to get a simple cocktail and then not even consider the bar, and then go from that to then being really excited and getting to share with other people. I went to this wedding and I had this really cool bar experience. That's a gift. So, but I have to create that.
And I have to say, I'm also not only impressed with all your all the gifts that you brought, but dang, your business card, the card stock on that is real.
I gotta keep you safe on the streets.
What is this, right? This is like, look at that.
Well,
you can't even bend this thing.
Know,
you could shank somebody with this. I don't think this would be allowed in in prison, because it'd be like a prison shank.
It would. I'm surprised they let me on the plane with it. Yeah.
All right. So cool. Now I'm looking at this little basket. I see a whole bunch of little bottled goodies. What do we have in here?
So I made you 6 different cocktails.
Oh, for real?
All custom. So they all have different flavors. So
you have the little Bartender's Weekend logo. I like that.
Yeah, I put your logo on them, and
oh, sick.
Let's see. So they all have different themes too. So this one is like Top Gun theme, and this one is this is a low ABV cocktail with Blanc Vermouth.
Cool. So I'm looking at this, and what you've done is you have these beautiful little bottles that have logos on them, and they have like the verbiage describing what's going on in them. And is this what you would be serving as like a bottled cocktail when you do your events?
Yeah, I have different styles of bottles, but this one just fit in this basket that I brought you better.
This is really cool because if you kept these cold, like, when someone, say for a wedding or something, a reception, you could just hand them out to people as they walk in.
Yeah, so I have done bottled cocktails at
Nobody
events.
has to get in line.
And
no
it's
one
a
has
novelty. It can
Yeah.
be also the gift that the guest takes home with them.
Mm-hmm. These are so cool. I really like these.
So each one has like a flavor that matches.
Are they already diluted too?
Mm-hmm. Pre-diluted.
At dilution, proper water content.
You want to try one?
Yeah, let's try one.
Okay.
That's delicious.
That one's just a little funky rum, a little passion fruit, and some tequila.
Ooh, yeah, a little Smith and Cross action. I can dig that.
Yeah.
Woo! I'm gonna try another one.
Okay. The Seattle one has a port bakery spice reduction as the sweetening agent, and then I used Old Forester 86 proof in that one.
Cool. So where do you see the company going? Or not even your company, but where do you see cocktail catering in general going?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the only one that's doing custom cocktails or craft cocktails in Seattle. Thank you. And so I think that as the average consumer's mind expands around cocktail culture, and more people are becoming professionals and like taken seriously in this industry, they'll start to branch out and do things like this. And I think it's just going to kind of blow up the way that.
Yeah, because now there's like really good craft cocktails at Coachella.
Really?
Yeah, they've been doing it for a couple of years now, like proper cocktails. And it's like, I know like PDT had like a little pop-up bar at Coachella, I think 2 years ago.
That's
like,
crazy.
So yeah, they're doing their best to bring really good food and drink in.
There's a Pepsi bar at Sasquatch, the music festival that happens in George Washington. And it's like air conditioned, and they have all these crazy cola cocktails, and they're properly shaken. It's really cool. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a soda fiend. So
yeah.
I don't drink that much of it anymore just because I'm not a child anymore, but that's like a total weakness.
I mean, you don't have to lie to me, Eric.
Yeah.
They're
like a weakness. Like I love just like sugary sodas.
Yeah, Coca-Cola is the best.
Especially when you're hungover and you have like
it's
like an ice cold Mexican Coca-Cola out of the bottle.
I always drank Squirt after a hangover.
Does that have caffeine in it though?
Squirt?
Yeah. I don't know, right?
I don't know.
Because I like the Coke, the caffeine, like it's like supposed to like scientifically like it loosens up like the blood flow in your brain.
Oh, is that why you like drink coffee after?
Yeah, it's supposed to help. I think it like has something to do with like the constricting the blood vessels in your brain.
That's amazing.
Or I could be completely full of shit.
Sugar and caffeine feel the same to me. I'm like a rabbit, a lick of sugar, and I'm good.
That's good. Okay, well, I'm going to let you get going, but I want to say thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experiences and sharing your story of what it's like being a cocktail caterer.
Yeah,
because that's something that I think it's still pretty new in the world of food and drink right now, but it's something that I think is definitely going to grow and is only going to take a bigger role in the world of drink.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And actually, before that, if anybody wanted a little more background on your company, where should they go?
You can go to bespokeabcs.com or the same Bespoke ABCs on Instagram.
Yeah. So if you're in the Washington, actually Pacific Northwest region, and you need somebody to help you with cocktails for an event, you know where to go.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, or leave a comment below. Also, in case you missed it, the Bartender at Large documentary is now available for purchase online, and it's name your own price, so you can pay whatever you want for it. To pick up a copy, go to bartenderatlarge.com and click on the banner up top. Thank you so much for watching.